Hello everybody and welcome to the Spider Queen mod review as promised. Now I actually was going to review a different mod, but then I was like, I said I would do it, so I guess I'll do it. Today we're going to be reviewing the Spider Queen Reborn mod. Now the original mod isn't actually available anymore because the developer made it open sourced and then anybody could basically work on it. So Spider Queen Reborn is probably the best version out right now, so that's what we're going to be reviewing. First things first, you may have noticed I'm a spider. And one of the caveats that comes with being a spider is that you can't actually sleep in a normal bed. But so then, what kind of bed do I use? Well, you're gonna need something called web. Now, to make web, you're gonna need string. Now, luckily, whenever just doing anything, you actually generate string. And you only need 3 string, which you can literally just make in your survival crafting inventory, just like that, and you'll get a web. Now, you need this kind of wood frame here, with a 3x3 area in it, and then you just shoot your webs like that, and it'll create cobwebs. So the first web kind of just sticks on the floor like that. The second one makes a cobweb, and when you fill it all the way up, you notice it gets a little bit thicker, and now I can sleep through the day, just like in a normal bed, and it is now night. Now, okay, so there is, with the Spider Cleaner mod, it does add a few other mobs, obviously. One of the things that it adds is a wasp. Now, if I take I need to put it in easy mode. So if I spawn one of those in, I grab my sword, and I actually kill it. Now, these will spawn just in the day normally, if you're not on peaceful mode. We'll change that back. But now I have a stinger. Now, if I put a stinger and if I put a stinger and a web in a crafting table together, you get poisoned web. Now, what poisoned web does is if I grab, say, a pig, and then I put something down like that, and then I put the pig down, and if I push the pig into it, first of all, it's cobweb, except it's poisoned cobweb, so this pig is actually going to be poisoned while it's in the web. Now we can get rid of that, we don't need you. But yeah, so that's what that is used for. And yeah, now another thing you can actually use that a stinger can be used for is a grapple hook, or a web slinger, which is basically just a grapple hook. So say I just press right click, I throw it over there, and then I jump, it'll grab me to it. And if I hold shift, I can actually go away from it. Now, if I had a wall to go up, I could probably show you this better. But I hold space, and then I hold space, it takes me up. I hold shift, it brings me back down. So you can use that more in like an open sort of terrain. Now we do have a few other things over here, but I want to go over these. So these are different kinds of cocooned animals. Now you can actually cocoon animals in this. Now the reason you would do this, first of all, is if I cocoon an animal, which by the way you can cocoon it just by shooting web at it, so like a pig. Now it helps if they're weakened, so if they've taken some damage first, and the lower health they are, the easier they're going to be to cocoon, kind of like Pokemon. But the reason you'd want to web some of these, first of all, like pigs, chickens, that kind of stuff, you can right click on it, it'll eat them, it gets your hunger up a little bit. Now it's not as effective as just eating regular food, but it also gives you string so you can make more webs, and on top of that, it has a chance of dropping a spider egg. Now what is a spider egg used for? Well, it has a chance, when you place it down, eventually, after a while, it'll hatch, and it'll actually become a mini spider. Now, different cocooned animals, so the only ones that actually create different kinds of spiders are cocooned wolves, horses, zombies, villagers, endermen, creepers, and skeletons. Sorry, you can't cocoon spiders. But if I put an egg next to these cocoons, when that hatches, it's actually going to eat it, and then it's going to get special abilities. So we'll go ahead and put one of these down for each of them, and after a while they will hatch, but while we're waiting on them to hatch, we can do some other stuff. Wow, already the skeleton spider has hatched. Oh, that was actually the earlier one that we placed down, but uh, I kind of just wanted a normal one, but oh, this is a good point. What do I do with the spiders? Like, what do they do? Well, if I attack something, they'll attack it as well. But one of the main issues I'm facing right now is he could just walk away. There's nothing keeping him here. So one of the ways, or two of the ways you can combat that issue, put these in my inventory, is by crafting a spider rod. Now the spider rod is just a torch up here, sticks like that, glass on either side, and you get a spider rod. Now if I place that down, or if I actually come near it, you can see it's following me now. Now if I place that down, it's going to stay near that. Now what if my spiders aren't near me? Well, I can craft a recall rod. Now this one's a little bit more expensive because you do need glowstone, which means you need to go to the nether, but it's the same as the other one, except instead of a torch at the top middle, you need glowstone. Now if I right click on this, it actually brings the skeleton spider to me. Now if I get far enough away out of the range of the recall rod, you'll see just chilling, and then if I come over here, boom, he'll stay near here now. And you can see now that one of the other spiders has hatched, I can do that again. Now they're both over here. It's very nifty, very handy. But yeah, what haven't we made yet? These two? No, we made a skeleton. So it's just this one? Alright. So, oh, and wolf as well. Put those down. And again, you get these just by damaging, say, a wolf a little bit and then throwing a web at it. Boom, it's webbed. You put it next to spider egg. It will transform. There we go. We have this egg still getting ready to hatch. Oh. So, get rid of those. But we did have our boom spider hatch. So let's actually bring these all over here. Just like that. And we'll go over what each of these spiders does in a minute. But let's come over here to this chest. Now, something interesting is that... Oh, I accidentally got rid of it. So, this is called a ghast egg. Now, supposedly the way that you get it is by webbing up a ghast and then, so cocooning a ghast and then right-clicking to eat it. It can drop... Oh, here's a regular spider. It can drop... it has a chance of dropping a ghast egg. In my testing, I couldn't web up a ghast at all. I tried using poisoned web, I tried using regular web. I don't know if there's some sort of special web you're supposed to be using that I'm not seeing in the creative inventory. If so, you guys can let me know, and maybe I'll, like, update, or I'll put it in the comments, pin your comment or whatever. But, the ghast egg doesn't actually need to hatch. If I place it down, boom, I have a mini ghast, and I can actually ride this around. Now, kind of, you hold space, it'll go up, and then it kind of just glides back down, and you can move around using WASD, just like normal. Now, it kind of just stands there, not doing anything. It literally doesn't do anything. It won't move around. You don't even need a spider rod to keep it there. It just doesn't move around. I don't know how to get it in vanilla. In the vanilla game, or just in survival mode, but supposedly you can get it. Sorry, my rider spider was... Now there's a range on this rod, on the recall rod. After a certain distance, they won't recall to you anymore. And we have this guy, finally. There we go. Alright. Let's get into the other things. So this does add a few more mobs than you can actually tell. It adds ants, bees, and like I said before, wasps. It also adds flies and these little bugs. Flies don't hurt you, but they're like these beetles. They do try and attack you. Now, rare fruit, I don't know much about. There's a lot of this stuff that you can kind of figure out on your own. They also spawn in other queen spiders that are actually hostile towards you, and when you kill them, they drop red blood. Again, I don't know what red blood is used for. I think you give it to other queen spiders, and they're like, oh, okay, you're cool. Um, but there are a few notable ones. First of all, the Jack. It's not. It's a little boss. So let me set the time to day. Uh, During the day, if a Jack spawns, it will actually look like just a happy little jack-o'-lantern. Now, if you see these during the day, run away. Run away as fast as you can. Seriously, you're going to want to get out of here, and I'll show you why. I'll put it in easy mode if I go /time set night, or even if I sleep, because spiders would obviously sleep through the day. Give it a second. Hello. It should. Yeah. Turns into a jack. Now, it makes some very creepy little laughing sounds, but if you kill it, hold on, I'm gonna go back to peaceful, but if you kill it, because these guys are gonna get hurt. Yeah, they've already gotten hurt. Um, what was I gonna say? Yeah, if you kill it, it actually drops a Jack's lantern, not a jack-o'-lantern, a Jack's lantern. And the Jack's lantern, I don't know exactly what it does. You can kind of just place it down. That's really it. It doesn't really do much else. Now there is another mob. It's called the Mandragora. Now the Mandragora will just spawn naturally, kind of like the Jack's lantern. It'll spawn naturally, and it does quite a bit of damage. So you're gonna want to kill it pretty quickly. Now, if you do kill it, it drops a Mandragora seed. Now, it is hostile towards spiders, spider queens, so you're gonna want to kill it, as well as your army. So they're gonna try and kill your army of spiders as well. But if I go ahead and take over here, when you do kill a Mandragora, it does give you Mandragora seeds. Now, if I place these seeds down, after a while, it'll actually grow into a Mandragora that is friendly towards you, and actually helps you out a little bit. Yeah, now that's one of the newer things that's in the newest edition of the mod. Now there is another thing. So this is a freeze rod. It freezes creatures, extinguishes fire, and turns water into ice. Now, the only way to get this is to kill a Yuki. Now the Yukis, and you can see I just did that. Now the Yukis can only be found in ice biomes. So like, yeah, in ice biomes, you know, where you find all the ice spikes and everything. They can only be found there, and they're extremely hostile. Don't go out looking for them, seriously, until you're prepared. So, like, got lots of armor. Yeah, because, I mean, once you do kill it, you do get that rod, and it's pretty overpowered of a rod. It's pretty nice. It's a nice thing to have. Now, there is another thing called a human. Now, it won't spawn because it's a hostile mob. Because obviously it's going to want to kill you. Because if a human sees a giant walking spider queen, it's going to, you know, the people are probably going to want to kill it. So it's going to try and kill you. But if you do kill it, it will give you, it has a chance of dropping any of these items. A brain, a heart, or a skull. Now the reason you're going to want these is because let's say I want a boom spider. I have to go kill a creeper. Now, hostile mobs that would normally be hostile other than spiders are not hostile towards me. You know, they're all nice and friendly. But if I do end up killing a creeper or hitting it enough to try and weaken it so that way I can web it up, it will actually get, all creepers might get mad because they're like, hey, we were being nice to you and now you're attacking us. That's not very cool. So to kind of please them, you'd want to give them a heart. Just throw a heart at some creepers. They're going to be nicer towards you. Now, you give them enough hearts, you're going to be on such high stats with them, you know, such high friendliness level, that they might one day decide that they want to send a creeper to your little nest that you can actually web up on your own. just kind of as like they're being nice, giving you a gift of a sacrifice. Now the same can be done for zombies. Obviously, you throw a brain at them, and skeletons, you throw a skull at them, and eventually they might send one to your way. Now let's get into what all the different spiders do. Obviously, we already got into what the mini ghast does. It's not really a spider. It's kind of just a little mini ghast that you can ride around. Let's start out with the rider spider. Now they did take a little damage when I turned it to easy mode. Let's start out with the rider spider. So I right click on it. I can just ride it around. Now you can actually ride it up walls as well, which is pretty cool. And that's pretty much all it does. Yeah, that's really it. Now let's also go into the Nova Spider. And by the way, you get a Rider Spider from a cocooned horse. A Nova Spider you get from a cocooned wolf. The Nova Spider actually runs around and heals other spiders, um, which is really helpful considering that they just took a lot of damage. So he's going to be healing them up as well. I don't think he can heal up himself, so there's actually no other way to heal them, unfortunately. Um, so I recommend getting a few Nova Spiders just in case they die in battle. The next thing we'll go is a Pack Spider. And the Pack Spider you can actually right click on, and I can put some stuff in there. And then, it's like a little portable chest, basically. And then this is a wimpy spider. It has very low health, doesn't do anything special. That's what happens when you just put an egg down. That's what you get. The next thing we'll go into is a tank spider. This is from a zombie, so it'll poison enemies that it hits, and it also has a lot of health. Now, these spiders can actually level up. When they level up, they actually um, will have more health. Their abilities will be more effective. They'll be able to attack quicker, things like that. So they all level up by doing different things. Rider Spider levels up from being ridden. Pack Spider levels up from just over time. Tank Spider levels up from combat. Wimpy Spider doesn't level up because it's a wimp. Nova Spider levels up from using its ability. The next spider we'll get into is the Ender Spider, which levels up from using its ability as well. What the Ender Spider does is it actually teleports hostile mobs into the air. Now it doesn't actually do any combat on its own. It kind of just teleports mobs into the air, and then your other spiders can attack them. And again, it levels up from using its ability. The next one we have is the Slinger Spider, sorry, and you get this from skeletons. Oh, you get the Ender Spider from Enderman, obviously. You get the Pack Spider from villagers, obviously. But the Slinger Spider you get from skeletons. Skeletons, when you put an egg next to it, you get a Slinger Spider. Now, the Slinger Spider will actually shoot webs at enemies, which can be incredibly useful, because say I hit a pig, it will throw webs at the pig until that pig might actually get cocooned, and then you didn't have to waste any of your own webs on that, which is really, really cool. Then the last spider we have to go over, and it levels up from using from combat, throwing its webs. The last spider we have to go over is the Boom Spider. The Boom Spider throws projectiles at enemies, throws explosive projectiles at enemies. Now the only caveat of this one is when it dies, it explodes, which can damage the other spiders around you. And that's pretty much all this mod has to offer. It does have a few other things like anthills. They spawn underground, beehives. They spawn near trees. But that's pretty much it. There's like royal blood. There's all this stuff. But this is like the base of the mod. Other stuff you're kind of getting deeper into it. Like the Yuki is kind of like a deeper thing. You're getting deep into the lore of the game. But yeah, that's it. That's all this mod has to offer. Thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah, just go make sure to check out my Twitch, twitch.tv/sleepyboy10. All of my socials will be in the description. And while you're down there, you may as well subscribe or even like. It's not required, but it's free, and I would appreciate it. And I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.